This go around, we'll be giving this young lady another try. It's the most viewed video for the last probably about 3 weeks on my channel. Uh, Philomena Cunk. This time, Moments of Wonder on the Second World War.
1940 AD. France has fallen. Hitler has conquered Europe. Britain is on the verge of invasion. In the words of Bonnie Tyler, we're holding out for a hero. And unlike that song, originally recorded for the film Footloose starring Kevin Bacon, Britain got its hero,
I love the correlation
Winston
there.
Churchill. The first question is who or what is Churchill? The answer is who. He was born like most people and went to school. But unlike most people, he was also Prime Minister in black and white times, which was not a moment.
Again, little clips like this for me, like those little turns and stuff, like like most people was born like most people, like everybody's born. But it's the whole episode is like that. So after a while, just trying to keep up, but everything it gets kind of taxing mentally, to be honest with you, because it's one thing after another. It was like most people was born and went to school. Really? Oh shit! I forget how funny it can. Some of the turns of phrases were though.
People. He was also Prime Minister in black and white times, which was not a moment too soon because of a war. The war that would make him famous. War II. War II was like War I, but easier to understand because the baddie was better. Adolf Hitler rather than
The baddie was better.
Imagine what it was like in the war room on May the something, 1940. With Hitler's invasion of France a complete success, the debate was furious. Should Britain make peace or fight on alone? Although in this reconstruction, no one's arguing out loud because we can't afford equity rates. Leading the peacemongers was Lord Halifax. No one knows what he looks like, so we can have anyone play him and spend the money on a half-decent Churchill who wanted to keep on fighting. Some of Churchill's words are immortal. If the British Empire and its Commonwealth last for 1,000 years, men will still say this was their finest hour. And never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few. If he'd been alive today, just imagine how good his tweets would have been. I've never met Churchill, so the best...
Something tells me Churchill wouldn't be on Twitter if he were alive today. Just venturing a guess here. But yes, memorable stuff. I mean, the man was, he saw Britain through a time that was, he was necessary for.
Imagine how good his tweets would have been. I've never met Churchill, so the best way to understand him is to ask someone else who never met him. Hello, who are you?
My name is Dr. Peter Catterall. I'm Reader in History at the University of Westminster.
Why do we say Churchill won the war when we know he didn't have a proper go at it himself, did he?
What do you mean in terms of fighting?
Yeah. He just sat underground in a hole, didn't he, smoking, telling people what to do, like a minicab operator.
Well, I suppose in some ways it's quite a good analogy because unless you've got someone directing the fleet, the soldiers, the tanks, etc., then similarly it's not going to work.
Yeah. Churchill was sort of out of shape, wasn't he? Like he was quite overweight and he drank and smoked a lot. He couldn't even climb a ladder, could he?
Real quick, and this is completely, it's not really off topic, but there's a YouTube channel, the Whiskey Tribe, and they tried taking and doing Churchill's routine for a day. Now, their whole channel is built around whiskeys, and they actually have their own, they've got a distillery. Yeah, they had a hard time keeping up, to say the least.
How good a role model do you think he was, really?
I think he would find it difficult.
I mean, if you don't look at the fact that he won the war.
And indeed, before the war came along, he'd been out of office for 10 years. So politically, he was in the wilderness.
What was he doing in the wilderness?
It's a metaphor. He was not in the government. He was on the Conservative backbenches.
Why did they have the backbenches in the wilderness?
The wilderness is a reference to the fact that he's not in office.
How did Winston Churchill come to invent Tipp-Ex?
Well, he didn't.
It's amazing to imagine that Churchill literally single-handedly stopped Germany from winning War II with his funny voice and his big cigar. And then one day, he just vanished. Nobody knows where he went. Next week on Moments of Wonder, I'll be finding out what's the heaviest month of the year.
Like I said, good. Like this was funny. This had some funny moments. Not all of it, but there's some funny moments. The premise of it. Look, the premise of it. And people in the comments of both of the other videos, like, oh, you just don't understand our humor. No. Trust me, I get it. It's a satirization. I completely get that. Mockumentary. I'm not dumb. I understand what's going on, but the verbose use of language and the constantly trying to take and get create jokes one after another with the way that she does it, it's easy to miss stuff. So having to pay that close of attention and see what the hell's going on screen while you're seeing what's going on screen, so you don't have to take and rewind it 3 times when you're like, wait, what did she just say? It's taxing, to say the least. There's parts of it, like this right here, funny. The fact that she's going to sit there talk about his tweets would have been, his tweets would have been epic or whatever. Or that he was like everybody else, he was born and went to school. Like, bro, come on. It's funny. And the way that it's a nice little, comedic look at facets of history. So it's gonna be at least, at the very least, interesting, but having to keep up with all the turns of phrases throughout a full episode, that was my issue with that last one. This, though, like I said, this little bit, I may at some point in time revisit the show, but this right here, yeah, this was oh hell. Why did they put a bench in the wilderness? Like, bro, come on, really? Oh hell, I love how the historian or whatever is like, it's a metaphor. It's just like, yeah, non-plus, it's a metaphor. Oh, I hope y'all enjoyed this. Y'all be good to each other. Love yourselves. Peace.